The 12.18 patch has just dropped. If you're looking for the latest meta info, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Now for the big winners this patch. With buffs to orb drop rates and quality, as well as buffs to ASOL damage and ramp up time, Full Astral is poised to be a top contender once again. Despite the nerfs to Lux, overall the comp is much stronger. The orb changes should help the comp with items and gold to remain healthy until you can push for level 9 and get ASOL 2-star. I look forward to seeing what Full Astral can do now that the Astral shops have been removed. Lagoon has received a ton of buffs in 12.18, so be ready to see this comp a lot more. Kai'Sa and Sohm both got damage buffs, while Zac received a much needed boost to his health. This increases the strength of both full Lagoon and Lagoon Mage boards. Add to this, Mages got buffed across the board as well, which means Sohm will likely become a top meta carry in 12.18. Considering this comp offers a team-wide AP and econ boost, and now has a bona fide early and late game carry, I would consider this comp broken. Add to that, Zeri was also buffed in her damage, which amplifies full Lagoon and provides a solid mid-game carry until you can find Sohm. Now Jade lost its footing after Anivia was removed at the start of 7.5, but with buffs to Wukong across the board, and paired with Xiaoyu buffs across the board as well, and 3-star Karma buffs, I fully expect Jade to be back in the meta in 12.18. Now I believe Melee Jade will be the way to go, playing for Wukong 3-star, then leveling for late game carry Xiaoyu. But a full reroll Jade with both Karma and Wukong 3-star is also possible as well, having a duo carry. You can pair that with Jax, who received a minor defensive buff, and Splash and Shimmer Scale, who also got buffs to multiple Shimmer items, and this comp may be topping games immediately. Now let's talk about the losers this patch. Cannoneer saw further nerfs after the 12.17b mid-patch update. Aphelios lost even more base attack speed, and Cannoneer trait loses even more damage on tiers 4 and 6. Add to that, Ricochet Augment was also nerfed. And to top things off, Last Whisper, Graves' favorite item, also received a minor nerf along with Weak Spot. However, with no nerfs to Graves himself, the Zeke's item, or Dark Flight item interactions, I fully believe Dark Flight Cannoneer will still be in the meta as a very playable comp. Keep in mind, you may be punished for trying to force it now, but it should still net top 4s if you hit. The second loser this patch is Dragonmancer Nunu. Now there's quite a few nerfs, so let's run through them. Both Dragonmancer 6 and 8 got minor health nerfs, and Dragonmancer 8 also received a slight damage nerf. Nunu also received a 13% nerf on his true damage ability, which might just barely be enough to keep Nunu from eating frontline tanks in one shot, but this is nowhere near enough to keep him from one-shotting every other non-tank unit. Add to this the fact that he is super tanky due to Cavalier and heals a ton since he doesn't need to build damage items. I fully expect this comp to still be powerful in the meta, and to compensate for those nerfs, Karma, Volley, Kai'Sa, and Set all got damage buffs. Full Mancer will likely be strong this patch, and you will see them appear in other comps as well, like Kai'Sa in Lagoon or Karma in Jade. Now overall, it's obvious the developers' goals were to nerf Dragonmancer Nunu that's been ruining the game since day one, while still maintaining Dragonmancer as a whole. But if you ask me, the Nunu nerfs were simply not enough. If he's supposed to be a tank, then why allow him to do true damage? If he's supposed to be a damage dealer, why is he so tanky with the Cavalier trait? Honestly, it's a poorly designed unit and he needs to be reworked. Now as for the Cannoneer changes, I think the nerfs were enough to stop people from forcing it early. I also do appreciate the buffs to other comps like Jade, Lagoon, and Astral, which allow for more diversity and flex play. What do you think of the patch? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to improve fast, then you need to sub to my channel for more meta breakdowns like this and full comp guides. Now let's talk about the strong comps this patch. First we have Full Astral. This comp has taken a slight dip since the trait rework. However, despite the Lux nerfs this patch, she is still a strong early carry. Now complemented by a powerhouse late game ASOL carry, this comp is fairly simple. This is how the end game board should look. You just want to pick up Astral units along the way and 3-star them as best as you can to increase the orb quality for more gold and more items. If you get a Mage Spat, it should be used on ASOL for OP damage and synergy. I recommend using Seraphine as your evoker unit to help ASOL cast more quickly. In this comp, focus more on finding units than items, as you'll get extra items in the orb drops anyway. Once you find ASOL 2-star, you can also drop to Astral 5 and pick up Siphon for Whispers 4, Dragon 2, Bruiser 2. Now here, there's no true time to roll down, you'll just have to go with it. Your main goal is to get 3-star units and rush level 9 for ASOL 2. Now Lagoon Mages is a pretty special comp to me since it was the first comp I learned right out of the gate in 7.5. You'll want to have a Guardian frontline with Zac and Rakan. Normally it would be Malphite and Sylas to hit Mage breakpoints, but with buffs to Mage 3, Sohm, and Zac, it's no longer needed, and Zac will hold up much better. Plus, if you find a Mage Spat, you can still hit Mage 5 really easily. Kai'Sa will be your early AP carry, and you should transition those items to Sohm once you find it. If you get a Mage Spat, Kai'Sa can hold it until you find Seraphine, and then transfer over to her once you get Sohm. Here, you want to roll down at level 8 for Sohm 2-star. You want to have Blue Buff, Jeweled Gauntlet, and Infinity Edge as the items. Archangel Staff and Giant Slayer also work well as substitutes. Just remember, Infinity Edge is a dead item without Jeweled Gauntlet or the Jeweled Lotus Augment. Now for the third comp, it's Melee Jade. This comp is really simple. You want to find Wukong 3-star ASAP. That means slow rolling at level 5. If possible, you'd like to high roll Nasus 3, Karma 3, and maybe even Jax 3, but I wouldn't push it. You need gold for level 8 and Xiaoyu 2-star as well. Prioritize Wukong above all else. You want to splash in Shimmer Skill plus Warrior Bruiser, and for items, Ginsu's, Titan's Resolve, Hodge, Bloodthirster, and Last Whisper all work well. Getting a healing augment like Celestial Blessing also synergizes with the comp really well since they're all melee units. Xiaoyu will also want similar items, so just keep that in mind. What do you think about the patch? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.